It's Nolan. Southside.
Bruce in my label, brought it straight from the dirt. Double my grind, just a triple my word. Rockin' the same clothes from the first to the third. Say what you want.
Motivated by grace, but I don't like them. It's for the industry and all them haters that comprise it. I own my image and likeness. I'm fighting like Leonidas. To be righteous is key. I had to make my circle tighter, cause they life is the street. I'm from the jungle where you kill what you eat. I love the feast. Taught myself how to cook, it was Franks and butter beans. Hot summers, no treats. Niggas born with no retreat. If they gotta get you, they willing to shoot you right through the priest. That's where I'm raised at. Today back. Y'all niggas listening to slave rap. Just got my chain back, crafted by Arabs. Wait, I got a blade strapped under the wave cap. My city full of niggas bleeding like a fucking ACES. So when I say I overcame the odds, I don't pray to God. Watch niggas that was shaving hard, had to take a charge till I came to change the cards. Hey, I ain't got no words for y'all. I don't do the rap beats. I'm trying to get my girl to drop.
But I know it's gonna get better than this. For sure. I don't have everything that I want. But if there's one thing that I know, it's gonna get better than this. For sure.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had zero intentions of coming back and doing a nighttime show, but as I was chilling with my family, having dinner, you know, chilling on, cooling and maxing and relaxing, you know what I'm saying? Doing all that good stuff. I was informed that Jay-Z has been implicated in a lawsuit filed by Tony Buzbee from Houston in tandem along with Sean Diddy Combs. This originally was filed just with Diddy, but now all of a sudden Jay-Z is being thrown into the mix. We've heard that Tony Buzbee came out earlier in the year. He said that there were many stars that they were going to be reaching out to and I guess trying to, in his words, form a settlement with. But in Jay-Z's words, he's saying, y'all reaching out trying to blackmail niggas. Y'all are associating celebrities that have nothing to do with Diddy's situation. You're trying to throw people's names in there and you're trying to shake them down for money because you know nobody wants to be associated with the windfall that Diddy's created. Now, I'm going to go through all the information that's been presented, right? At this point, there is no evidence, only allegations. We're going to cover those allegations. And we're also going to cover Jay-Z's response, okay? Because he didn't waste no time. His lawyer came out, but Jay-Z came out and issued a statement immediately. He didn't play no games. He didn't wait two nights. He didn't make no video. He came straight to the streets to let us know how he feeling about the situation. And, you know, a lot of people have been waiting on this day to come. A lot of people have been trying to see when Jay-Z will fall. And we'll see if this is the day. I don't know. I don't know him personally. All I can say is let's look at the information as it's being presented. All right. So we're going to start with this article here. I'm on Variety. They say Jay-Z named with Sean Diddy Combs in SA lawsuit. Jay-Z calls claims idiotic. Okay. And they say Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, was accused Sunday in a civil lawsuit of SA towards a 13-year-old girl in the year of 2000 with Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, which was first filed back in October, had originally listed Combs as the defendant. It has since been refiled to name Carter as well. The accusation comes from an anonymous Jane Doe who claimed Combs and Carter SA'd her in 2000 after they brought her to an MTV Music Video Awards after party. 13-year-old now. Let's see. They say Combs was jailed. I'm skipping some of this because I want to wait to get to Jay-Z's response. So that's all I'm going through. Combs was jailed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York after he was arrested September 16th on charges of racketeering and trafficking, denied bail by 2 different judges. Combs will remain incarcerated until his trial on May 5th, 2025, and could face life in jail if convicted on the racketeering charges. Okay? Now, I will be very clear. I have not covered any of Tony Buzbee's cases on my channel for at least probably a month and some change, almost 2 months. I told y'all I'm only covering the federal case, and if something else comes up that's not associated with Tony Buzbee, then I'll go on a case-by-case basis. And that's because I felt like he was looking for salacious cases. They were going through thousands of people. I mean, they were just putting ads out for people to come forth, and we're just putting people's stories out without really fielding it, without gathering evidence or anything like that. So I just kind of fell back on these things. But so there's that. We've got the actual filing. I want to give a shout out to Opinionated Truth for sending me the documentation. This has not been doctored. This is exactly as it is. So I want y'all to understand that. And it's 21 pages. I'm not going to read through the entire 21 pages, but we'll go through it just to try to see what they're accusing Diddy and Jay-Z of, specifically Jay-Z, because again, this was already filed, but Jay-Z has been added to it. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a moment and we will get right to it. Okay. Here we are. Jane Doe, United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Jane Doe, plaintiff versus Sean Combs, Daddy's House Recordings, Combs Global, Combs Enterprises, Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Bad Boy Productions, Bad Boy Books, which I find very interesting, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Productions, and last but not least, Sean Carter. Okay. Plaintiff Jane Doe, by and through her attorneys, the Buzbee law firm, for her complaint alleges as follows. Introduction: defendant Sean Combs, a.k.a. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy, P. D, all that stuff, along with his longtime friend and collaborator Sean Carter, drugged S.A., a 13-year-old girl, at the after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. Another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Many others were present at the after party but did nothing to stop the assault. Combs has been allowed for years to conduct himself in this manner without any consequences. He believes he is above the law. He is not. His close friend Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described herein. Both perpetrators must face justice. For decades, defendant Combs abused and S.A. threatened and coerced women, minors, and others for gratification, to assert dominance, and to conceal his abhorrent conduct. He accomplished these acts by and through a criminal enterprise built on his success as a rapper, record producer, and record executive. Combs is one of the wealthiest musical artists in the world. Behind the facade of being a 3-time Grammy Award winner, discovering and developing multiple famous musical acts, and ranking on Forbes' list of the highest paid entertainers in the world, there existed something sinister, a dark underbelly of crime, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, and prostitution. Combs is a menace to society, women, and children. While his wealth has kept him above consequences for years, Combs now faces the awesome power of the American judicial system and ultimately a jury of his peers, who will be asked to punish him for his deplorable conduct described herein. We already know Diddy's business. We've gone over Diddy's business multiple times on this channel and his criminal enterprise alleged. So we will not be going through this part of the lawsuit again because we've read this multiple times. Okay. This is about the drug use, GHB. This is about physical abuse taking place for multiple decades. This is about 1996. Combs was found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer. 1999, he was arrested and charged with second-degree assault and criminal mischief in connection with assaulting a record executive. Combs was arrested again the same year for his involvement in a shooting at Club New York, which Miss Natanya Rubin is still on his ass about. Another instance of violence occurred at a Los Angeles hotel. That's about Cassie. In the past year, numerous civil complaints have been filed by plaintiffs who allege that they had been SA'd by Combs between 1991 and 2009. Again, we know all of this. Joy Dickerson Neal, Liza Gardner. I believe them. In December 2023, an anonymous plaintiff sued Combs in New York for drugging and gang SAing her in 2003. And I just want y'all to understand, when I say SA, I'm just using that as a catch-all term so that we don't get flagged by YouTube. When she was only 17 years old, the victim alleged that employees and business associates of Combs, through their affiliation with Bad Boy Enterprise, lured her to Combs' home, where Combs then SA'd her. That turned out to be, what was the woman's name? Anna Kane. It turned out to be Anna Kane, right? She used to be married to an NHL player. I think it's Evander Kane. And she was 17 at the time. She was from Detroit. And Harv Pierre met her at a lounge, a bar. They were playing pool, having drinks. And he lured her to get on a private jet to Jersey, I believe, or New York, to go meet up with Diddy. There was photos of her sitting on his lap in the studio, 17 years old. Her face was blanked out. She was hiding her identity, but her identity was just revealed the other day because a judge was saying that they would not move forward with the case unless she came out, or something to that effect. So that I do believe. There's photos, there's everything. We'll keep going. In February 2024, Lil Rod, we've gone over Lil Rod's situation multiple times on the channel. May 2024, former model Crystal McKinney and April Lampros and Combs. We talked about Crystal McKinney and April Lampros on this channel as well. Okay. Miss Audrey English, former adult film star. We talked about her. We have Dawn Richard. We talked about her, believe her. And the federal investigation with his trial. All of that stuff. We've talked about all of these things. Now, where is Jay-Z? Okay. Defendant Carter, they say, is like Combs, a wildly successful rapper and businessman. Carter and Combs have a long history together. Carter met and began collaborating musically with Combs in the 1990s. Combs and Carter rose together to the very top of the hip-hop industry in terms of fame and influence by the end of that decade. Combs and Carter were not simply occasional collaborators in the music industry. The two men developed a close friendship that has been well documented from the late 1990s to the present. Together, they attended countless music industry events for each other's business ventures, parties, and after parties. Indeed, the two are apparently so close that Combs stated in 2023 that Carter is the only person other than Combs' mother who is allowed to call him by his legal first name of Sean. In 2000, near the height of their fame, power, and influence, Combs and Carter attended the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. Afterwards, Combs hosted an after party for many of the most famous celebrities in the music and entertainment industries, including Carter, which is where the events alleged in this complaint occurred. Plaintiff Jane Doe is a female who resides in Alabama. Defendant Sean Combs is a male who, on information and belief, resides in New York through incarceration in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. On information and belief, at all relevant times, Combs owned and or controlled Bad Boy and all that shit. Defendant Daddy's House Recordings Incorporated is a domestic business corporation that, all right, we know about his businesses. Okay. As y'all can see, I'm just scrolling past repetitive listings about his business because, of course, they're saying he's running a criminal enterprise, so they're detailing all of those LLCs and different companies that fall under the enterprise. So I don't want y'all to think I'm skipping through vital information here. All right. Defendant Sean Carter is a male who, on information and belief, maintains residencies in both New York and Los Angeles. Defendant Carter is more commonly known by his industry name of Jay-Z. Carter was identified in plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Prior to the filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. So Tony Buzbee is saying that Jay-Z filed his own suit against Tony Buzbee, and he says that Jay-Z has resorted to harassment tactics. Okay? This effort was meant to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. The effort failed indeed. Plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetuated by Carter. Each of the Combs corporations, A, aided and abetted Combs in committing the unlawful violence against plaintiff described herein. B, are alter egos for Combs, completely dominated by him and used for his personal interests and to engage in wrongdoing which harm plaintiff and others, and or serve or have served as vehicles for Combs to move, dispose of, and or insulate his assets, including in connection with his criminal activities, and to avoid compensating the victims of his many crimes, including plaintiff. Okay? This court has subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1332 because this case is between citizens of different states and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. The court has specific personal jurisdiction over defendants because the acts giving rise to plaintiffs' claims took place in New York State, and because several of the defendants are domiciled in New York State and or regularly transact business in New York State. Venue is proper in this district pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1391B because a substantial part of the events or omissions giving rise to the claims occurred in this district. Okay, factual allegations. Again, they go back to September 7th, 2000. Plaintiff, then 13 years old, had a friend drive and drop her off near Radio City Music Hall in New York City so she could try to attend the VMAs. Attending the VMAs was on plaintiff's bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Plaintiff was very excited. As the event began, much of the crowd moved inside, but plaintiff, without a ticket, remained outside with others and watched the VMAs on a jumbotron. Determined to get into the VMAs or an after party, she approached several limousine drivers parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. So, 13-year-old, she's roaming the streets of New York trying to get into the VMAs, allegedly. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked younger girls, wow, and said she fit what Diddy was looking for. And while not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. Interesting. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he pick her up and take her to the after party. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed to her a long time. The driver eventually returned and drove her what he described as the after party. After approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a document which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes to have been a non-disclosure agreement. She was told that she could not discuss what happened at the party. She gave the men her name and signed the form, but did not receive a copy. Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talk to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she had wanted to see at the VMAs. Wait staff circulated through the room, carrying trays of drinks, and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and coke. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses circulating the crowd. The drink was a reddish-yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an actual exemplary container used by Combs and or his agents employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. So is this photo from that night back in 2000? Did they hold on to this for the last 20 something years? Or is this example of what that looked like. Just a question. Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms off it. She entered what happened to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down for a moment. She did not lock the door. The room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any kind, television, or other furnishings. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity, Celebrity B. So there's allegedly another celebrity, a woman, who was present. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. I wonder who Celebrity B would be. Are they trying to, because this is before Jay-Z was with Beyonce. So who would Celebrity B be? Plaintiff immediately recognized all three. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point... What is this? At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he entered her forcefully, so they say, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and did the same. I got to be very careful with the words here. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. When Combs backed away in surprise, plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and ran out of the bedroom, holding her dress in front of her like a towel. She ran around the residence until she found the front door and was able to leave the party. Although there were other guests still at the party, no one appeared to take notice of plaintiff's distress or attempted to help her. Once outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route taken by the limo driver. She kept running until she reached a gas station she noticed on the way to the party. A female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff's father arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. After the assault, plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. Plaintiff suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and a seizure disorder caused by stress and trauma. Plaintiff has had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. Okay? So this is being filed under the New York City Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act. Okay? Plaintiff hereby incorporates each of the foregoing paragraphs. Defendant Combs and Carter committed a crime of violence motivated by gender under this act. The requirement that the crime of violence be committed because of gender or on basis of gender and due, at least in part, to an animus based on the victim's gender is satisfied because defendant Combs and Carter forced minor plaintiff to engage in an interaction without consent. Jane Doe could not effectively consent because of her age. The non-consensual touching of a minor herein presented a serious risk of physical injury and in fact caused such injury. Gender animus inheres when consent is absent. Combs' long history of violence and abuse against women evinces, a deep contempt and desire for domination over women. Okay, so they now add in his business. The Combs business enabled and conspired with Combs and Carter to commit the crime of violence motivated by gender because Combs and Carter S.A. plaintiff at a party related to or referencing Combs' business. On information and belief, Combs' businesses routinely committed S.A. and gender-motivated violence as detailed in other civil lawsuits to further the business purpose of Combs' enterprise. Given Combs' long-standing pattern and practice of committing violence against women, the Combs business had and or should have had knowledge of Combs using such parties and venues for this unlawful conduct and did nothing to stop it. Okay, so here they're tying all of this into Diddy's enterprise, saying that this is their MO, right? Here they're saying that he's got a long-standing pattern, and they did nothing to prevent these things from happening. The Combs business enabled and conspired with Combs to commit the crime by failing to properly supervise. Okay. Here they say they failed and enabled and conspired with Combs by actively placing, maintaining, and or employing Combs in positions of power and authority, despite the fact they knew and or should have known that he had a widespread and well-known practice of committing SA and gender-motivated violence. Okay? As a result of defendant's actions, plaintiffs suffered damages in an amount to be determined at trial and pursuant to the fee-shifting provision of the statute. This legal action has been commenced within the statutory time frame provided by the 2-year look-back window for VGMVPA claims. Plaintiff respectfully requests that judgment be entered against defendant as follows. So this is what they're asking for: awarding compensatory damages for all physical injuries, emotional distress, psychological harm, anxiety, humiliation, physical and emotional pain and suffering, family and social disruption, and other harm in an amount to be determined at trial. Awarding punitive damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Awarding attorneys and fees and costs pursuant to any applicable statute or law. Awarding pre- and post-judgment interest on all such damages, fees, and or costs. Attaching any and all of defendant's real property and other assets located in the state of New York pursuant to the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 64, and awarding such other and further relief as this court may deem just and proper. Dated December 8th. So this came out literally today. Okay? So that's what we have in the lawsuit. Now, here's what we have from Jay-Z in response to said lawsuit. He says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a quote-unquote lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. Okay, so Jay-Z is coming out and saying in the first line of his statement that he was attempting to blackmail him. Okay, and that he understood that putting these allegations out there would place a fire up under him to make him cough up money to settle outside of court. He goes on, he says, no, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. Now, hey, y'all, Jay-Z don't come out and do this. A lot of shit has been said about Jay-Z on the YouTubes of the world, in the Twitter streets. Niggas done said a lot of things about Jay-Z. He don't come out and roast niggas, ever. He may rap about certain things and say stuff is ridiculous and make, people that he was formerly associated with, he'll throw stuff at them. But he doesn't address these types of things. He says, once again, I will expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. So he's refusing to settle. And let's keep going. He says, these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. This nigga said, don't just go civil, go criminal with it. If you feel like you got something. He says they are so heinous. If you think I did this, go criminal against me, not a civil. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He says these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. He says this lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Buzbee, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. He has taken personal aim jabs at this lawyer. I've never seen this shit. Not from Jay-Z. I've never seen this shit. He's taking personal jabs at this nigga. He said, I have no idea how you have come to be Such a deplorable human. But I promise you I've seen your kind many times over. And I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. I can't make nobody believe one way or the other. I'm just going off of I've never seen this. He says, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Holy shit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability. Wow. By an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Says, you have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. Oh, shit. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, I think he means psychics or fake physics, will believe the idiotic claim. Yeah, I think he's saying fake psychics. He's taking aim at everybody who's been shitting on him for years at this point. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, will believe the idiotic claims you have leveled against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. So Jay-Z is not backing down. He's not settling. He's not sending any money. He says his heart goes out to real victims who go through this type of thing. Then he goes and says, I'm down to show you all celebrities are not the same. I'm not from your world. I come out the projects of Brooklyn. I would never play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children while you exploit people for personal gain. Again, I cannot make anybody believe left or right, and it is not my job to sway anybody. I'm just giving y'all the facts of what have been presented here tonight. Again, I was not expecting to be on this fucking camera. I ate dinner. I was ready to, put my son down to bed and relax. And the streets went completely haywire out of fucking left field. Oh, shit. Hold on, y'all. Seems to me we're in for a fight. Now, again, I know a lot of people are rejoicing. They've been waiting to see how this thing, how the takedown of Jay-Z comes in a public forum. This could be what you've been waiting for, or this could go a totally different way. I don't know. I'm not about to place my finger on it because it sounds like they're about to go in. So I'm sure more details will be disseminated, likely from both sides. And I'm just going to report on it and see what the fuck comes out, because I am stunned at the events of this evening. This shit is getting crazy. Diddy, we already, there's enough out there on Diddy. Now, Tony Buzbee, he came and he tried to say that Diddy touched that little boy months ago, and come to find out it wasn't nothing but Diddy putting his arms around him in a photo, and that family tried to exploit that. That was Tony Buzbee's team. That was Tony Buzbee's doing. They went to the news. You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all, yo, Diddy's a fuck nigga. Diddy did some wild shit. But that one wasn't it. So some of the stuff that this guy is bringing to the forefront, I can't necessarily say is legit. I don't know what this is. I can't say, but I would hope that this victim is telling the truth, but it's hard to dictate what's what. So again, I'm just gonna wait for more facts to be presented, evidence, and whatever else they have, because this shit's about to go crazy. 2024 has been one for the books. Let me know what all y'all think down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. I'm sure by the time I wake up tomorrow, this shit is finna be a complete, utter mess. Wow. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for sure. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.